Hey, thought about doing this earlier in the week, but anytime something comes out like this Finder story and stuff, anytime something like that comes out, you can't just react that same day. You gotta wait and absorb some of the information and think about it for a little bit. And looks like I got one, four. Okay, people starting to watch. Yeah, freaking flies. So I got the door open for the dog, and so the damn flies come in. Yeah. So overall, the Finder letter, I believe it was. You got to look at who had the photographs. Who did Fenn share the photographs with to show that the treasure was found? They were shared with Dale for his website, right? So Dale had the photographs. Now, who took the photographs? Oh, by the looks of the story, it looks like Douglas Preston probably took the photographs. Hey, Luke, Meadowhawk, Space Ghost, Lucky Digger. Yeah, I guess y'all. So Dale had the photo. So Forrest said, "Here, Dale, here's pictures, and use which ones you want." So he used several to show that here's pictures of the treasure chest that Finder brought to Forrest, but he didn't need them all. He needed just a few of them for that story. Then along comes this Finder story, and here's some more pictures of the same event, the same day. Forrest has some sticky pads notes in his shirt pocket. I think when everything's still in the box, maybe he took some things out and put sticky notes with the stuff to note something on them. I'm eating beef jerky. So I believe it was the story was written by Doug Preston, no doubt. None of us write like that. only a bestseller novelist writes like that. And he starts out, the letter is, "My friend Forrest Burke Fenn." That's how Doug would talk. That's how Doug would say it. Because the Finder, Forrest wasn't he couldn't address him as my friend, like I've known him for years and so on. That's telling you this Finder is fake from the beginning, because he said he called Forrest one time in the past and went searching 24 times. And if anybody has gone searching knows, you head out here to go searching in the mountains, and you go search one day, and the next day you're at the swimming pool at the hotel, or you don't even get out of bed because you're so sore from searching the day before. Which my case, I'd go out and get exhausted. I can't go for a couple more days. You don't just go do 24 days of searching. The guy had the only thing he had was a fake blaze. He had no, he didn't have a warm water salt. He didn't have a Home of Brown. He didn't have a no place for the meek. He didn't have a heavy loads. He didn't have a water high. He didn't have a tired and weak and the wood. What was nothing? All this guy says he had was a fake blaze. And Forrest said it's not where you can just stumble upon it. And Forrest said that the finder used all of the poem that brought him straight to the treasure. But one of the things about this letter is that I believe it's the person writing it, not being Doug Preston, knows what Forrest Fenn's wishes were. He brings up about his home museum home or whatever. He wants his home to be a museum. The thing he could not fit in the treasure chest was his estate. The poem does not say, if you've been wise and found my treasure chest. It says, find the blaze. I've never said I found the treasure chest. The treasure chest, the physical bronze box with the gold. I found his treasures scattered over the map, sprinkled over the mountains like pepper. Across the continental divide. It involved both Pacific and Atlantic watersheds. You end up in the opposite place you began, which would be one watershed to the other, or deep in a hole or high in the sky. There you go. Warm water halts, it's 1,000 feet down. The blaze was Moses 1,000 feet up. 1,000 feet from. So Doug knew some things, little things like the 1,000-foot, because but there are several blazes. Forrest said there were 10 billion blazes out there. And when I showed him Fenn's totem, he told me that, oh, you found it, but there's 40 of them, right? Now I better go start taking pictures and find the rest of them. And that's how I found Moses. The Moses figure halfway up the 1,000-foot bluff. And this finder also knew that there was something happened in 2017. And what he's hinting at is, the finder was identified in 2017. He knew that. And that's when Forrest introduced me to Doug at the Once Upon a While book signing. And Once Upon a While is telling you it's over. When that came out, the chase was over. And meanwhile, he's playing games and stuff, and he wouldn't call the treasure hunt over because his plan said, when it's over, I'm dead. And he wasn't ready to go yet. He had some more cougars to bag. That now, and everybody's heard the stories of, they propositioned some women, but we've only heard this story from the women that turned them down. How many cougars did Forrest bag? Not just the one. He pulled more than one cougar up off the ground. Why isn't this thing going? YouTube doesn't like to show me the chat that's going on. I have to, and it didn't move anywhere. It hadn't shown me anything. I have to manually scroll it, retrieve it, or people say, oh, did he go and get it? Did he? No, people are not there. He said, listen good. Bill Gorman said the treasure chest itself was never out there. It was his stories on the canyon walls that he wanted you to find. The treasure chest, I've said over and over again. He put Moses outside to weather Moses for several years. And when he brought Moses in off his balcony, he put the treasure chest outside to weather it on his balcony. And if you look at that willow stick, if that's a willow stick, the willow stick, if you look up about the burning bush, the Moses and the burning bush, that this bush has branches similar to a willow tree. They look similar to a willow branch. This bush, the burning bush at the blaze. So Andy, and you look on Google Earth, I think that's a willow tree next to his pond, too, isn't it? He's got a willow tree in his yard. But I've said over and over, no, nobody went and fetched it for him or nothing. He had it sitting out on his balcony. It's up. Nobody visited his balcony. He's probably the only one that ever goes on his balcony. So there was nobody to see it. If somebody had done a real close survey with a drone, you might have seen it. And it's why drones aren't going to help you. The drone would tell you exactly where it was. And I had suspected that when he was found, I suspected he was found the steps to his den. He said that Moses was on the second step to his den. And he was found right next to Moses, or maybe he grabbed him, fell on top of Moses. And like he was planned on. The steps to his den was that karst he was going to throw himself off of. And that's and someone else who know has heard things from there that yes, he was found on the steps to his, that he tripped over these. They figured he tripped over the steps or something. But it's just like I call it, because that's where Moses is, and he planned this. And who knows if Frisson, his buddy, the archaeologist up in Wyoming, if he didn't plan his own too. I don't know. In the September 8th, this guy writes September 8th was certainly, Forrest made me cry. So why is he saying September 8th? Because possibly whoever wrote this, where was Doug Preston on September 7th, 8th? I suspect he was on the other side of the international date line. The only way you get a day off is if you were over there in Asia, Southeast Asia or Asia, Philip, somewhere past Hawaii or Alaska. Over there, the other side of the date line where it's a day later, or like Japan. So, in that sense, when you think about September 8th, well, it's like my mother died on St. Patrick's Day. My brother, though, he was over in the Navy in Thailand or something when he got news, and he thought that my mother died the day after St. Patrick's Day because of the date line thing. So whoever wrote this was probably on the other side of the international date line. And that's also someone from the East, the Far East. Yeah, and then I don't know if Forrest changed that'd be wrong for him to change his scenario of the winner is the one who found his blaze in my book. And if he changed it to somebody old just because he's a professor and something over in Japan or Asia, we know somebody in Japan who possibly could have wrote like that. Possibly. Why haven't we heard? Michael Hoole did do but so September 8th, it wasn't September 8th. It was September 7th. But and then I've been that was Monday morning when they found him. This happened. Some people say this happened on Sunday, but they didn't find him till Monday morning. Whatever happened Sunday, And if you had I had a friend that had a stroke, and I caught him soon enough that he survived, and he lived another 5 years after his stroke. I put him in a wheelchair and wheeled him back off the trail and called an ambulance. They came, got him, and then they took him to the hospital. And before I could drive to the hospital, they had him at the airport on a plane, on a helicopter heading for Portland from what's that? Florence, Oregon. It's where what's his name? Was it Da Vinci or something? Drink my tea before it gets cold. So I have September 8th, in red because of that dateline thing. Whoever wrote this thought that he died on the 8th because they were on possibly on the other side of the international dateline. If someone knows where Doug Preston was on September 8th, and I think in this thing this guy talks about, does a lot of traveling and stuff. If you had student loans to pay off, would you be traveling the world? No. If you're Doug Preston, you're traveling the world, signing books here and there. So talks about a rental car. We got back to my rental car after the find. Now I know a lot of searchers, but they don't just get a rental car; they get a 4x4, and they're going deep in the woods and stuff. You can't just get any rental car and stuff. So somebody understood that Forrest said he used a sedan. It was a sedan he was in, and actually, my blaze, you don't have to leave the pavement to see the blaze. You just have to see it. If you can be there and be looking at it and not see it, and you didn't find the blaze because you just didn't see it when it was right in front of you. It may be off in the distance, and if you have the right lens, you can see it. So yeah, the rental car thing, and if you could afford a rental car and a flight out to go searching, just to go on a treasure hunt and all that, you don't need the treasure. If you got money for traveling all over and hotels and all these luxuries, you don't need the treasure. Somebody living off grid without electricity and without a well, without the septic, with the county up their ass trying to chase them off their own land, that kind of person needs the treasure. If you're using rental cars, you have plenty of money. You don't need the treasure. And Forrest said the person who found the chest would either laugh out loud or start crying. Oh, I realized he had been right, and started to get annoyed that I still couldn't stop his quotes from popping in my head. So I'm going to write. Oh, he said, and if you're a professional writer, I'm going to use that crying thing here to dramatize myself to be a crybaby and start bawling. Do a little Glenn Beck, a little acting. And also, whoever wrote this is trying to piss off the real finder. Doug Preston, there was an interview I watched, or something. I read something he wrote that he enjoys pushing characters to their limit. And that makes me think of Michael Douglas. Michael Douglas, Preston Child, See, you can Michael Douglas. You put Preston on, and how long can you use people's names and make one continuous name? But the movie The Game, Michael Douglas was in, and they're conducting a psychological experiment on the public, and we're going to have we're going to create this mad world type scenario out here, have people at each other's throats, and drive these characters to their limit. That's what Doug likes to do, is push characters to their limit. You know, get them to go, double blazes, mofo, you know. and really, double blazes is much more politically correct than FU, isn't it? Isn't it? So if it said double blazes, whatever. And speaking of double blazes, I was in Amy's chat, and she had Cynthia on there. And I was watching it. At first, I said, is that Davio? Oh, no, that's Cynthia, you know? And I said, so, I said, why does Cynthia look like Davio tonight? Oh, man. It's like I raped Amy. Yeah. It's just like that. The ridicule for saying, so you could interchange. They could be twins, brother and sister. You know, maybe, you know, but they got the same hair. They're both blonde. They're both their 60s. You know, so they do look alike. You know, they should get together and put a video out where she's using his voice and he's using her voice or something, you know, do a little dubbing and stuff. Audio Davio can do that. But, you know, bunch of people said, I laugh out loud. And then Hooli about, oh, my panties are all in a bunch. Bill Gorman, that was so disgusting what you said. It's like, oh, my God, I didn't, you know, I've seen people say things much more disgusting. I've been blocked on K-Pro, as I said, I need a couple of tokes to come down to your level. Okay? Oh, block Bill Gorman. You can't talk about marijuana. You can't mention taking a toke or anything or putting down our intelligence that way. And then Davio's on the show 2 weeks later, and he's talking about a case of cocaine or a box of cocaine. Oh, okay. I get it. I can't talk about marijuana, but we can talk about cocaine on your show. You know, you can't have one standard for one person and another one for other people. I've never said anything disgusting on their shows like they pretend, just like Toby and them. You know, and I'm insulted and attacked. I got, you know, 2 days after Amy's thing, I got 2 emails about how disgusting I was, and that well, for you, if anything you say is going to be criticized more than what anybody else says, just because you're you know, it's like, my God, I used to look at Amy as the good witch of the North in the Wizard of Oz, you know. I thought Amy, I had Amy on a pedestal, okay? Well, Amy's flushed herself down the toilet. She's the Wicked Witch of the West, and you know, it's totally. This is what I think of you now, Amy. You're not a pretty. No, that's true. Beauty's only skin deep, because the ugly sure has come out. believe me, you owe me an apology. You never gave me, you never had me on the show and let me talk. Never. Oh, we got to hide Bill Gorman's blaze from the world. Can't let anybody know he exists and all. And we won't ever talk about it. All we'll ever say about Bill Gorman is what an asshole he is. Yeah, probably one of the cougars that Forrest bagged. Yeah, because women will use that to thinking they're going to get an extra clue or a big bag of money or special favors. If I do him a special favor, he'll do me a special favor. You know, us guys, we don't have that advantage. I realized you've been right. Got annoyed. So I'm reading it. Already discussed who had access to the photos. Dale and Doug. The Forrest sent Dale the photos for the this is what the finder brought in. There's the treasure chest. Here's the pictures. So Forrest had given Dale a pile of pictures, and I'm sure Forrest gave them to Dale as JPEG format, and Dale goes into the photo editor, and when you're doing things with transparent backgrounds and stuff, you change it to a PNG, so you have these different layers you can manipulate, put one in front of the other, one behind the other. You seen what Dave Calvi, I was laughing my ass off when I seen that video of Dave Calvi inserted himself in between Forrest and the background, you know? And it's like, yeah, you can do that. What he did was he cut out the table in Forrest. He had a green screen behind him so that the whole picture shows up behind him, and then the part he cut out he placed in front of him. And so he sandwiched in between these two photo layers. And I thought he missed the little part, through under his arm, but he didn't. He got that part too. Because I posted something and I deleted it. But that was funny, Dave. And then I remember Forrest saying he had met this finder some time ago. He had met him at a gathering or something, and now what happened to that? It was on Dale's side, I thought, and so because there's a conflict with that in this story, that information that Forrest had put out about his contact with this finder had changed in this letter, So Dale and what they're trying to do is the real finder. They're trying to get that person aggravated and pissed off to start calling them out, and they are trying to provoke some drama into it, just like in the movie The Game with Michael Douglas. That all of these things were actors and stuff running around in the background. And I had a dream I caught the cameraman. they were hiding in behind some bushes or something. I don't have any. It's like, where was I? Where were these cameramen hiding, But I caught them. It was kind of like the Truman Show happening. And so it's a reality thing. And the psyop, who knows that maybe the CIA is involved with it, After living inside his head 2 years, meeting him in person was sensory overload. So this guy's saying that living inside, so he'd been searching 2 years and done this, right? And didn't... It went straight to how many people went right to the right spot the first time they went out? Huh? How many went to the right spot the 100th time they went out? No, you don't. You know, you don't just join in and go into it like that. It was something. You know, I searched down New Mexico. I searched further up north in Colorado, and then I stumbled on something on the internet, and I said I better go look down. And when I came and looked down here, I started finding things that were unbelievably correct, unbelievable to most people. So the person called him. This called him in the past, and well, you only called him one time, right? And then all of a sudden he's meeting. He's got so, but the person, the real person who called Forrest was the real finder. Called him a week before the announcement of the finding. That's when I called him, a week before. It's on my phone record that I had a phone call. I think it says how long the phone call was. But it was May 27th I called Forrest. It was like 9 o'clock at night. What do you want from me? What do you want from me? And on Prince of Egypt, Moses says to God, what do you want from me? What do you want from me? It was so cryptic. It's like, dang, that's the same thing Moses said. Forrest walked 40 years after he was shot down in Laos. When he put the book out, that was 40 years. And he walked another 10. He planned it like an architect makes plans. And it was in his plan to die when he did. He had said that he doesn't have any trouble going like his father did. Do I still have that on here? No. I think I emailed it to somebody. There was something on his thing. He go in his own time, a time of his choosing, that he would pick the time when he and he was just tired. He was weak. You see him. He takes little baby steps and stuff. And people, when they're taking them little baby steps, it's easy to fall down. That's why because they don't have good balance is why they take those little steps and stuff, because they're afraid of falling down and stuff. He wouldn't use a walking stick or a walker or anything like that. He didn't want machines keeping him going. So, that was a big deal to him. And he chose when he went out. And as far as anything he said about the finder after the finder announcement, we got sun setting right out there. All of that stuff, as far as court and all that, he knew his date was already set when he was going to end his when he was going to end his 50 years of walking after Laos. He was, he was ready to end it. And he knew, look, before they ever get me in court, there ain't going to be nobody to testify, so I can tell them anything I want to. I need that sun to go down. It's just hitting me right in the eyes. I'll do this. Okay. So, need my other hat. Gotta have the sun out of my eyes. These are my old reading glasses. I should get my new ones out. Yeah, he had planned it. That's what the architect makes the plans. and everything was scripted like Shakespeare. You play your part, and you make your entrances and exits. He made his exit, didn't he? Did he make a grand exit? It's like, and he said there would be a lot of surprises this year. And I keep telling you, I was telling you after the first surprise, after the finder surprise, that there's more surprises coming, and there's more coming. This year is not over. There's more surprises. The big dates, a couple. The winter solstice is a big date. He was shot down in Laos when he ejected. Was December 20th. That's winter solstice. The middle day of winter solstice is the 21st, and winter solstice lasts 3 days: the 20th, 21st, and 22nd. That's why when the Son of God, when the sun has fallen as far south as it goes, it stays there 3 days, and then the sun rises again further north. It starts moving, and it's a resurrection. When he was shot down in Laos, and it was like Christ dying, and then being resurrected the next day by the helicopter. He had risen again. And it ties right in with the winter solstice and all the spirituality stuff, all Egyptian stuff, going way back in history. That winter solstice was the days of darkness, and when summer comes, then it's harvest. The harvest and all. The sun coming back means that plants are going to grow, and it's kind of like it's a resurrection of the weather. except really, that's when winter starts getting really bad, and it gets bad through February, and you get a few snowstorms in March. And this thing doesn't scroll. It's not showing me it. Oh, Doug have a feminist. I don't know about that. I thought he had a wife and kids. So people say these things that I don't know Doug that well. I've got a couple of his books, The Monkey Gods and the Codex. The Codex is about in the state, and Forrest Fenn. The court letters say that that Anderson needs to back off or give him time to appoint Forrest Fenn's replacement or his substitute, which is the person going to manage his estate, which isn't his family, I'd say, or that person would have already been named. It's taken them time to put this person in place, and this person's the mysterious person that can answer all the questions. Which I've been saying this is gonna, and this happens all before Christmas. Was a willow, cottonwood. The burning bush was a willow, or it was a stick. The burning bush was a plant. Its branches look like willow branches. Greenwich Village time. Okay. Where are we? Just the fact. Talk to the planner about all. Makes it an unfair playing field. The finder hasn't been notified yet. Oh my God. Are we streaming? Or did my YouTube really crash? Did somebody tell me? Are we? Oh. If that happens, I can get right back in. So don't worry. I just have to notice that. Yeah, because my app, it said close app, or wait for it to respond. It said it wasn't responding, and the chat I couldn't scroll, and so I shut it off and I started right back up. It says resume stream. I said yes. Yeah, I didn't go anywhere. I gotta see. Go back to the letter. Yeah, meeting him in person. And Forrest said he had met the person before, right? And this guy knew that 2017 was the date, is when it was over. It was over in 2017. That puts Anderson didn't start looking till 18. So it wasn't her supposed hacker and her stalker, her whatever, the person that was messaging her was just a cyber troll. Nothing to has the real finder doesn't know this guy, has nothing to do with this, whoever it was, she's got other people. She's suing a bunch. This isn't her only lawsuit. And there are people she's pissed off, and they're getting inside her head. There's all kinds. It's like this Finder story, It really pissed off the real Finder. He goes, mother, and then you go, it's bullshit. You look at it, this is all bullshit. This is aimed at, and Preston even replied to it. Nice fiction, basically, And said, I never met Forrest till this June. Well, the earlier messages from Forrest said he had met him before. This guy, like Fenn or something. You filled my lonely hours. There, now my thing is scrolling. She says, and then this person calls Forrest a compulsive memorist who wrote a poem that launched a treasure hunt in the Rocky Mountains that inspired many thousands of regular folks. So Forrest did like to recite poetry and stuff. He'd memorize the poetry and could recite it pretty good. He's done that several times. But person calls him a memorist. I thought that was somebody that worked at Memorex. And Forrest Fenn was the kind of man to drink buttermilk out of the bottle. No, Forrest Fenn did meet the finder. He tried to. He said he didn't know him. It's like he didn't know him like he knows Doug Preston. He doesn't know him like he knows his family. There's a certain level of how much you know somebody. And I have a policy. I don't let anybody's negative influence my positive. Okay, so tell me, that jerk Gay Delkin. He's you're wrong. You're wrong. You're wrong. You gotta believe me. You're wrong. It's like double blazes, mofo. Double blazes. Yeah, it was the after the finder announcement and before the pictures, there was a statement about that. But that's been removed from Dale's side. Dale's removed stuff that was there. Anybody got any other things that Dale's removed? Bring it up. Put it in the comments, Not in the chat. Put it in the comments. Yeah, right. Yeah, I'm making something. they're trying to screw up the manifestation of things, you know. It's like trying to pull a dark cloak over you. It's trying to end your enlightenment and their evil forces and stuff. There's some dark people in the chase. Eulogy wrote by Doug Preston. Yeah, we don't know. I'm sure they had Forrest Fenn service by now, but none of us have gotten any reports of it or no transcripts of what people had to say for Forrest or anything. It's all just like it didn't happen. We haven't had his. There hasn't been a finder or a searcher service. That's something. They had his service, but maybe the searchers need a service for him. We would do that. I was thinking, I had the idea of have a New Year's Eve party like in Santa Fe. Get a hall at a hotel or something, and a searcher farewell, and people can eulogize Forrest and such at that. Somebody else can run it. Even go set it up. I'll go. How long the searchers feel? Except. Who somebody else set it up, but not whose. None of that gypsy cabal mafia. Okay. And then it says in this letter, the finder letter, he loved books and language and held into words like creen that apparently nobody but he still used. I know we had careen into, he careened into the embankment. Churn buttermilk. Churn. No. Yeah, I'm not reading the word churn. It's CREAN. CREAN, not CHURN. Where are you Sunday, buddy? I don't know what they're doing. I was trying to get some things done, like I'm making these belt buckles. It's a mammoth tooth. I just made this belt buckle, and I made the one I'm wearing. I take it off, unsnap. So I made 2 of them this week after this so-called finder letter. I made these 2, and they're mammoth molars. They're slices of mammoth molars. And they got they're good belt buckles, and it just polish up the edges and but I'll be putting these on eBay. I think probably both of them. I'll be wearing my U.S. belt buckle. Yeah, they're real molars they're petrified from Siberian woolly mammoths. They come from woolly mammoths, or sometimes elephant, mastodon, maybe, but they seem to be from small mammoths because these things get like big, and these seem to be from a smaller mammoth. and they're kind of forest finish, you know. Yeah, you know. But and I like the oval ones better. The square belt buckles, the corners sticking, gouge out your stomach, you know. You'd be sitting down and you get up and you got an increase. And squeeze all the blood out of the skin there. But you see, the belt buckles kind of curve. So I have to curve the back of the tooth without breaking it. and glue them in, and once I got them glued in, then I surface finish it and round it around the edges, and I got this one. But I ordered some more it's a yellower color. This one's about half another degree of lighter color, lighter than this one, you know, but they're going to be kind of yellow. And this little spot here is just they stabilize these in epoxy resin, the teeth, because like Forrest said, they crumble if you don't. And so what they do is they take the teeth and they put them in a bucket with a bunch of epoxy resin and put it in vacuum, suck all the bubbles out of it, and like your windshield repair things, they suck the air out, and when they release it, the vacuum in the cracks and all sucks the epoxy inside, and so and then they let it harden, and then they slice them, and that way they don't fall apart when they're cutting them. And Forrest didn't understand that process because he's seen the ones that crumble and all, because they ain't been stable. These have been, they call it stabilized. But I want to do it with this and with mammoth ivory. You can get mammoth ivory too. So I want earrings like that. It's like, okay, how much of this design is going to go onto an earring? They don't have flea size mammoth. Okay, now this letter he talks about, he went into business, former Texas Governor John Connally, the Johnson and Nixon confidant. I don't know who he was in business with. But here you go. Here's scandal. Forrest Fenn was involved with one of the scandalous people. Some scandalous people, whatever. Nixon, who was wounded. John Connally, the Johnson-Nixon confidant, who was wounded by the magic bullet in the Kennedy assassination. The magic bullet is in the Buffalo Cowboy car. The magic bullet. That's the magic bullet hole in the Buffalo Cowboy car. That's what he's talking about there. And Forrest once shot a mountain lion. What's the other word for mountain lion? Cougar, right? How many cougars has Forrest bagged? And then later here he says, even regretting that affair with the beautiful, let's say cougar instead of mountain lion, had run in his direction. No such thing as magic bullet. Right. Yeah, there's magic bullet hole. I got the magic bullet hole without the magic bullet. He's pimping with Skippy. I don't know. I don't know. There's a lot of people suspect a lot of stuff, and Cougar would have been older than him. I don't know. Some of them are pretty mad cats. Okay, and here's a part later on. He says he made hundreds of perhaps thousands of new friends, treasure searchers he met at gatherings, and sometime in his comfortable museum of a home. Now, these pictures of Forrest with the treasure, it doesn't look like his home, and the guy didn't. Here's somebody, his comfortable museum of a. He said he hadn't met him before, but he's apparently been to some lawyer's office or some bank thing with Forrest, or hotel conference room with Forrest, or who knows what to have the pitch, because the pictures with the chest, doesn't look like his home. Doesn't look like Fenn's home. So it's slipping up a little bit. What's my story here? But that also tells you that Forrest, his wish was for his treasure to end up in the Smithsonian. Well, what his treasure is his trove, and what couldn't fit in the treasure chest was his museum of a home that he wants the museum. So the finder is likely going to sell or lease everything to the Smithsonian and let them run it. If I'm a finder, that's what's going to happen. I would say, hey, okay, well, get Sotheby's, or what's the other auction house or whatever. Let's get the highest bidder for the entire thing, everything, and just haven't bid on, what would they? It's too much for someone like me to handle it all, and so you just sell it off to the professionals and let them handle it all. He wanted he thought his treasure chest belonged in the Smithsonian. He didn't believe in, if you're going to go to the bookstore and pick up a book, you got to pay for it. Now, he didn't want to just give it to them. He wants to make them pay for it. And this way he can have them make somebody else wealthy. They store and don't display. Yeah. Well, that's why he wants his home turned into the museum. He wants his home to be a museum. He has covenants on his house that you can't change this, can't change that, and stuff. You can't fill the pond in, probably, stuff like that. But I would like to add to, if I had it, I would like to add to it, like that. We just missed an auction where two F-100s sold. One sold for $31,000, the other for $64,000, and it would have been perfect to paint it up like his that he flew in Nam, and then bring it down Old Santa Fe Trail and take a crane and lift it over and put it over in the corner of his front yard. Not, there's a corner of his front yard where there's like nothing there. He's dropping F-100 in there. No one plays you. No one plays me. Oh, they play me hard. Yeah, but I'm like that bull in the rodeo. I kick them off my ass. Check backup disk space. My backup disk ain't hooked up, stupid computer. My computer destroyed my backup disk. We only hope of recovering my backup disk is if I had the treasure, then I could have it. Then I could afford to get it recovered. For a man who expressed anxiety about getting Alzheimer's, he seemed to have found the perfect deterrent to cognitive decline. Well, yeah. Speaking of Alzheimer's, there was I've seen the one K-Pro interview where he kept imagination is more important than knowledge, and he was kept saying information instead of imagination. He kept saying he couldn't say imagination. He kept saying information, and that's a sign of being in your last years. And you know, he wouldn't tell you exactly how he felt. You know, if he was dizzy, he was, oh no, he'd say, I'm just fine. It's wrong to play the American public. Maybe 10 years, but beautiful. Yeah, he scripted the entire chase. It went exactly as he wrote it. It was his script and his story. And you know, Doug's probably gonna use it for a book. I'll bet you. I bet you he writes another book about it. But Doug wants to know what the finder knows first, because obviously he doesn't in this letter. He never made more than a couple of subtle slip-ups in front of all the dogged reporters who came to his house, and even those apparently haven't been caught by anyone besides me. So the slip-ups he made to Doug knows, and Doug would have known what slip-ups he made and stuff, you know. But this finder wouldn't have known what Doug knows to know what slip-ups were made. Based on what fact? Who's talking about fact? Yeah. All the facts. You look at it. Well, the fact is, Dale had the photographs. And Dale is in communication with Doug. We're pretty sure Dale and Doug have a communication link going between them, because Doug can communicate with Dale since Dale isn't the finder, you know. and between him, well, I got the pictures and I can write the story. So, you know, it's like putting cookies and cream and making Oreos, you know. Yeah, this is a fake finder who had a fake blaze and no other. He didn't have a warm water halt, a Homa Brown, nothing. Yeah, close out that cool air. It says 52 outside and 20-mile-an-hour gusts. He never paid to advertise his hunt, yet seemingly every media outlet wanted a piece of him. Still managed to stay sharp. Okay. Okay, and he says, okay, I'll read the whole paragraph. Forrest had the ultimate poker face in the summer of 2018. The only time I had talked to Forrest on the phone before finding the treasure. And I had a problem with that because it was after I called Forrest and I told him I knew where his blaze was, that he made the announcement it was found. But I had sent him the pictures of the blaze in 2018. So this person knew that in 2018, Forrest had pictures of the blaze. And that's when I had sent them to him. He got them January 10th, 2018. Yeah. I got all the pictures. The mark that poem says points to the treasure that seemed after some effort by me to have been faked by a cruel fellow searcher, even though it had evidently been there for years. I couldn't believe the chances. I told him exactly where I had been searching, but the call only lasted about 20 seconds, and he gave no impression he had found my discovery at all interesting. That's what happened when I called him. It's pretty much, the call was less than a minute, at least. And then Forrest hung up after he kept saying, "What do you want from me? What do you want from me?" Prince of Egypt, Moses talking to God. "What do you want from me?" My blaze was Moses. He walked 40 years after being shot down in Laos. He said success is an omnipotent guru. And the only person he called an omnipotent guru was Leo Salazar, who carved the wooden Moses and told Forrest that's where Moses received the Ten Commandments. And he was pointing at the blaze. And you're successful if you know where Moses received the Ten Commandments. And the one is a perfect likeness of that wooden Moses that he died right next to. Yeah. It tells you that the Doug who wrote this knew in 2018 that Forrest had pictures of the blaze. Is that fake blaze was less than 1,000 feet from where I eventually found the treasure. And that 1,000 feet was where warm waters halt, 1,000 feet below the surface of Pagosa Hot Springs, 1,000 feet down. Where the blaze is was 1,000 feet up. 1,000 feet down, 1,000 feet up. Screen not scrolling, it's highlighting. But the call only lasted about 20 seconds, gave no impression he found my discovery at all interesting. Yeah, because he would, if you knew something, he would deny it. He told me, he said, "I'll never confirm it. I'll never confirm anything." And so when he did confirm something, you're going against your word there, Forrest. When I met Forrest, he had forgotten about the phone call and found it amusing when I told him. Of course, he had no idea how much I have tortured myself trying to read his reaction to the call. And that's, yeah, I was like, what? Why do you keep asking me, what do you want from me? And then when I watched that Prince of Egypt thing, it's like, that's why he kept saying, "What do you want from me?" Because that's what Moses said. Golden frog business. I just watched a video. Somebody's linked me a thing. It was a Egyptian thing with some music and stuff and animation, and it had the canopy of stars and Moses and everything. And yeah, Cape Rodona. And yeah, the finder is, I am watching this. Governor Bill Richardson. What I got noted here. Yeah, the Dr. Frisian who passed away on the same day. Did Forrest and him plan on that? What were the circumstances of Frisian's death? I should look. I haven't looked that up. He went to great lengths to protect my anonymity, including having this guy write this fake story. All this is telling the actual finder, be it me, that when you are given possession of this great treasure, disappear. That's what when they tell me to come down and sign the papers, I'm going to disappear. When I disappear, you know. Forrest went out of his way to protect me. A person he had never met before, even though in some ways undermined the legitimacy. See, he's saying that Forrest is these comments and things about Wyoming. All of these comments are to protect the finder from people who are pissed off because they are losers. Who was the searchers that left the fake blaze 1,000 feet from Belgium? I've been saying the treasure chest was never out there. Never out there. It was the blaze that we were looking for. If you were wise and found the blaze, look down at your feet, get the hell out of there, you're done. It's over. That was the target. But this doesn't end. You do not get the prize until after Forrest has taken it with him to the grave. You're trying to rob a grave that doesn't exist yet. Scroll down. Where else did I didn't mark everything I wanted. I didn't go through the whole thing. 2 people could keep a secret. Now one of them's dead. And that's always been the Forrest Fenn, the guy that showed Forrest Fenn said that's where Moses received the 10 Commandments. And he did that sometime before 1991 because he died in 1991. So 2 people knew the secret, and then that Leo Salazar is dead. So only Forrest knew the secret. He wrote the book about the secret place. And then Forrest is still the only person. And when somebody found that blaze, then 2 people knew the secret again. And the only way to keep it secret is for one of them to die, which was Forrest. He's dead. Now the finder is the only one that knows what that blaze is because nobody will believe him. Why doesn't the finder is coming forward right here and nobody believes the finder? So when the finder disappears and gets a yacht and sails off into the ocean blue and says, fuck all of you, then you know it's really over. 45 FF. That's 45. Yeah. And then this guy says, why did I put scissors in there? Forrest asked. And this is baloney. If Forrest asked Doug that, why did I put scissors in there? He was seeing how much Doug knew. If Doug knew about Moses and his umbilical cord. Moses, when he was an adult, his mother gave him his umbilical cord and he tied it around his thumb and kept it there the rest of his life. The scissors were to cut the umbilical cord. And the one thing, I saw the one picture of the scissors, it looked like it had less corrosion and stuff on it than the other picture of the scissors. It was kind of odd. Many searchers know that $17 a square inch doesn't end with just the quadplet. there were two more characters at the bottom of the page. The double omegas, the quadplet. Two omegas side by side. And this finder says here, side by side, just like the end of The Thrill of the Chase, I'd always thought that they could possibly have been a hint to a clue in the poem, but how could they be if there was also in this earlier book about Eric Sloane to me, blah, blah, blah. Okay. But for Forrest Fenn, it symbolizes, like a cat has 9 lives, those are 2 lives. It's a beginning and an end, a beginning and an end. Okay. The first beginning and end was when he shot down in Laos. That's the end of his first life. And the second one is the beginning. That's his set. That's the 2 40-year parts of, up to age 40 when he shot down, and then after age 40. He like a cat, but he lived 2 lives, and he was lucky to have survived. If you got shot down in enemy territory in Laos, you were a dead man, and the only thing that can save you is angels and Moses. He came back. He played his 7 parts, and he didn't have another 15 years coming. He said, "I don't, this is my last bout. I don't have another 15 years of, you can only do that 15 years over and over again so many times." And he wasn't going to have another 15 years. He knew that, because he only went 10 more. The relevance of the double omegas will go to the grave with the man who wrote the poem. Okay, so the real finder and this other imposter finder hijacked the chase and is stealing the glory. No, because this is an imaginary finder here. This isn't a real person. Huh. Stop saying Moses. Holy Moses. You ain't been to the Holy Moses Saloon? Let's move on to the next great thing. Team up and lots of great folks. Fake news. Yeah, I'm waiting for this to close. Like I said, the surprises this year aren't over. They're not over. It's evident in those legal documents that the finder is going to be appointed. The lawyer isn't going to appoint the finder and get him set up in the legal sense until sometime in November, at least, at the earliest November 1st. But I believe this is before the anniversary of being shot down in Laos, which is December 20th. So people that want things to happen right now, I'm sorry, it doesn't happen the way you planned it. It happens the way Forrest Fenn planned it. It's not your way, it's his way. and for his way, it's like, I went to my solutions about Moses, so I got to see what the Bible says about it all. And it says, just wait, it will come. Just wait, be patient. Don't rush it. Don't do anything. Just wait. Also, the day before this finder letter came out, the day before it came out, I told somebody, anybody claiming to be the finder is full of shit, because his lawyer's letter here says that finder ain't, that they're preparing to let this person know it hasn't happened yet, and it won't happen for another 45 days. So any finder letter was premature. somebody had a premature inking. Was that my porch light on? Almost looks like someone's headlights out there, but it isn't. My porch light. Yeah, and I got a note here. Toby fell for it. Toby went head over heels for the Finder letter, like it was confirmed. Oh, it's confirmed now. It's confirmed because Toby's a CIA, and I analyze this. This is the word of God here. No, Toby, they fooled you again. They fooled them again. Oh, hour and 20. It took an hour and 21 minutes to do that. Chuckles, I think there was real fun at election day. Watch Trump. Yeah. Yeah. I got good soil samples, good dirt. To move on. Hunters say lost cause. I'm not the UFO Bill and it was the one of the first movies by Gary Cooper, and Gary Cooper was in all the books that Forrest mentioned in important literature. And if you're supposed to find a replacement, what was the most important literature? The Bible. If you think inside the box, what was in the box before the treasure? The Bible. And what was the word that was key? The Word of God. The new things await. Yeah, Word of God is 3 words, but it's the word. It's describing one thing. His word. New things await. Yeah. Yeah, people try and distract me and throw all these other answers and stuff that have nothing to do with the correct solution. And I've told them, don't try and throw negative, trying to make me think I'm wrong. So say something to me that'll make him think he's wrong. It ain't gonna work. I don't allow negative thoughts to interfere with my positive way of manifesting the treasure. And that's when I sent Forrest the pictures of Moses, the title of the email was, I manifested Moses. Yeah. Well, when they find out what the truth was and all, Toby's gonna crawl back in his frickin' hole he came out of. GoPro find her 200 pounds she lost, and everybody will be happy. I was planning on moving. I was planning on heading for Arizona just after the election. I'm going to vote. Oh, you should get the hell out of there. I'm going to vote first. I'm going to vote before I hit the road. I can't hit the road and vote, so I have to wait. Do one at a time. No, I ain't gonna. I'm gonna make sure that thing gets in there and not thrown in a dumpster. You know. They find all these ballots in a dumpster. They were all from veterans. It was all so it was, you know, somebody at the post office decided, oh, we don't, we're going to throw away all these veteran votes. and they were like all for Trump, or it was soldiers, military people. I live in my RV under the canopy of stars. and my spot where Moses is lush forest, tall trees, canopy of stars, and the Forrest Fenn head up the dirt up to his nose and the head sticking out of the ground, because the Fenn is a muddy bog, and there he is, you know. So I got the Moses figure, his pile of airplanes, and the asterisk face. I just posted that. Look on my YouTube in the community. The last picture I put in the community post. Yeah, you have to use a computer to see it. They don't let you see the community. That's where people can chat. I can post pictures and stuff on YouTube. So I have pictures in there that I've posted. And there's a picture of the asterisk. They're like the water drop. You know how the asterisk has the teardrop asterisk, has the teardrops around the center, the points in the middle. It's one of those, but it's a guy in a cowboy hat. It's an asterisk, guy in a cowboy hat asterisk. And Toby fell for it as the thing is fact. Yeah. Now I watched I've been watching video. Some people about the when they brought up the LLC stuff and all that. It's all that's set up. That I've seen evidence that is all set up, and everything goes into that LLC. He made the finder his partner in the LLC. I'd say the finder will end up being partner of his LLC. Yeah. Toby, it could have been between Dale and Toby and Doug. They all got together and put that letter up. Yeah. Well, I know this is still playing out. This year isn't over. The surprises aren't over. Everybody thought, oh, shoot, he died all of a sudden. It was in the plan. It was in his plans. He had planned on it. Yeah. Forrest Fenn didn't like Toby because Toby was one of the guys in Vietnam. He was one of the NSA intelligence people who decided bomb this village. He was the one who told Forrest what villages to bomb. And Forrest didn't care for those kind of people that made him go bomb and kill people. Toby was the full of shit guy that, I gotta come up with something for, if I don't have something for him to do, then I'm gonna get fired. So yeah, just bomb this village today. Yeah. Toby's had that knife in my back and twisting it all along. And I called. He said, just send me a thing and repent or whatever, and we'll let you back in. I called him. I said, forgive me, Padre, for I have sinned. And no forgiveness for Bill Gorman, ever. Yeah. And why should anybody forgive Toby? I mean, how many underage girls did he pay for services with in Taiwan? He wants to interview fake finder. Yeah, there's a Toby ain't gonna get an interview with the finder. He ain't ever gonna get one. Because the finder's gonna do that with 60 Minutes and get paid for it. Yeah, I don't know what I've looked at. Where would I want to look? But I know the way I see it all working out is, the finder gets a lot more than the treasurer, and the way to handle that is to have a professional organization take care of everything. If not, sell it out to them outright, the whole thing, or give them a contract for so many years for exhibition. But the exhibition contract should be worth a lot more than selling it. But I'm thinking that it's just better just to sell it. Let them worry about all the technical stuff. And go invest in other things and get away from the Tobys and Shelleys and stuff. But, okay, what do I got? Hour and a half. You can't say this, but we all got screwed. Somewhat. For this, to have been the founder, you had to have a lot of faith in yourself and a lot of faith in yourself. You weren't going to find it. It was because it wasn't really what you had to find was what he was calling the blaze. And so many people, their blaze is something that you can look up on the internet, and it has a name. It has a name. It's in a town that he named, and his blaze was not a published thing, other than in his stories, somebody vaguely, what do you call it? Similar, subtle, vague references, like that's where Moses received the Ten Commandments, and you got to figure out where that's where is. And he says right there here's Moses. Moses, it was an important figure, and people that think he wasn't aren't going by what Forrest said. No, Moses was an important figure. He still is, especially here. Why don't more people name their children Moses? Even Greg on Treasure Seekers, he's we're going to start calling you Moses. Moses was the blaze. He was at the burning bush. The burning bush has branches that are similar to a willow tree. Even. Dog hair. I hate that. I hear Jack. I don't see him. It's dark in the front of the RV. My light is coming off my computer right below this. But I think I'm about done. What else we got? Have you all not followed? What? We're getting partial sentences here. You can't say this, but we all got to finish the letter. Finish the letter. Oh, I did. I only read parts of it. I went through and I made some notes, and you've all got you know where to find that letter. Read it. The video's on you about what you on your thought about what I believe. What I believe. What spiritually? We're magic. I got a magic stick. We people love it. Love him bit too. Yeah. I was gonna tell you I want to catch your Bill Garman live stream. Oh, thanks, Space Ghost. You know, is it going to be Forrest Fenn's Haunted Mansion now? Yeah, I know some things about what he had set up. How his wishes at the end of it. He had it all set up, and he said he didn't want to leave anything to his family, because that would spoil him or ruin his family if he left them. And what were we search? We were searching for his trove, and we all know where his trove was, and his trove. And his treasure box. He lived in a treasure box. Oh. Yeah, and I got a like on one of my comments from an actor, from a real one. That was on Facebook. What do you think about Fenn asking the women for pics and given them hands? I don't think that he gave them anything that was useful. Because that's why I was saying stuff like that. I don't know. There's nothing a guy. That's an advantage women have, and they think they can use it to get what they want. They use that as a tool that I'm going to get some information if I give him a little of what he wants. And I know if I had the treasure or the riches from the treasure, any of the women that chase after you, that they're only after that treasure because they sure didn't want me when I didn't have it. Love one another. This is the message. Real actor. Yeah, real actor from TV series. He could be a flying monkey because he has the name of one of the monkeys. Yeah. All right. Yeah, I'm about done. So, yeah. Good night, Forrest. I know it's still going on, and it's gonna be coasting until at least sometime in November. And in November there'd be more stuff coming out. If there was 3 months between the Finder announcement and his death, and then 3 months more, which would be early December, is probably another sometime by winter solstice and Christmas. Yep. All right. Good night, y'all. I'll sign off because otherwise I'll babble and I'll call Toby and some of them people foul names and stuff. And somebody pour some water on Amy, see if she melts. I say, and she's just, you're an asshole, you're an asshole, you're an asshole. I'll never let you on. No, we never even give you a fair chance, did we? Ha ha ha. It's like double blazes. Stick it. Obviously, she's, not a dream girl to me anymore. Maybe used to be, but no, I wouldn't want to have anything to do with somebody that is. I mean, she just, it's like, go away. I don't need you. See you later. Did I hit it? There. Treasure add-on. No. Ammons doesn't know anything. He's a CIA plug.